Hello, everybody on Facebook. I am excited to share with you a thought today, especially since my children are going to be home for a little while, so I won't be able to probably share for at least a week and a half. And this one is really, really important because it comes up a lot. It comes up a lot for me and for people who I know and speak to. And I will kind of share it like this. I think that for myself, I'm sure you guys share like your own stiff competition, but for myself, I am the queen of self-torture. I can really torture myself when I want to, and my weapon of choice that I like to use is my mind. And what I mean by that is I will have all kinds of stories in my head of like reliving some past experience or imagining some future experience or trying to analyze how things went down, try to create a possibility for like how I wish it would have gone down differently or how I could see it happening, like how I could see a situation turning for worse or better in the future. And it's sort of like I relinquish any control and I let my mind drift as I want it to drift. Like it's almost like being on like a yacht and you're just like lying back and letting the yacht take, I've never been on a yacht, so maybe I'm totally off, but letting the yacht take you on a ride and you're kind of along for the ride. And I find for myself, it's extremely appealing. Like there is nothing I love more than to just sit back and let my mind move the way it wants to. It feels like really comforting to me that I can do that. It feels like I could just relinquish control and let my mind do what it wants to do. It's a really good feeling for me. And and over the years, I found that I am more and more drawn into that part of myself. And I really enjoy and appreciate my mind to the degree that like people who I trust and share my thoughts with are like, it's like the most valuable thing I can offer someone is my thoughts, because that means that the place that I like to go in my mind, I'm sharing with someone else. The problem is that I'm not in control of what's going on. So wherever my mind feels like going is where I'm going to go. And what I've learned is that like my mind is not really there to serve me. It's our minds are there to protect us. And you can't really be protected and served at the same time. The only people that do that is maybe the police or some specific vocation can protect and serve at the same time. But when we are doing something, protecting ourselves, we're not serving ourselves. And when we're serving ourselves, we're not protecting ourselves. So for example, if you want to try something bold and courageous, you're not protecting yourself, you're serving yourself. And if you want to do something familiar that feels good to you and feels comforting to you, you're protecting yourself. And the trouble is that the same way you go to a movie and you come out feeling however the movie wanted you to feel, like if it's a super sad movie, you come out feeling sad. Or if it's, I don't know, like an action-packed hero film, then you come out feeling like really empowered, like you could do anything, right? So basically you've given your mind over to whoever created this movie and said, here, take my mind for the next 2 hours, it's yours, do with it whatever you feel like doing. I'm gonna relinquish control over my mind and let you have it, which is a really good feeling for us. And so we let ourselves relinquish our minds and we're taken through this journey. And at the end of it, not only have we relinquished our minds for the 2 hours, but what emerges is that feeling after the movie where our emotions are shaped. And that's the thing that we don't always see coming, that our emotions are very much shaped by how our minds and where our minds go to. And so as much as I would love to let myself go on this journey in my mind through whatever it feels like taking me, whatever story I feel like going. And sometimes I feel like being on like a sad story that makes me depressed. Sometimes it feels good to wallow. Sometimes I want to go on a story that makes me mad because it feels empowering to be angry. Sometimes I want to be in a story that makes me feel generous and giving and hopeful because it feels good to be in, a state of joy. But the problem is that, again, my mind is protecting me and I come out that much less connected to reality and with an emotion that I didn't ask for and that I now have to navigate through. So what came out of all of this for me was that it's not really okay to like allow my mind to go where it wants to go. Our minds are there and they can either be the weapon against us, or if we put it in its place where it's no longer the boss, our minds can do our bidding. They can become an employee. So for example, I spoke with someone today, and it was a really good conversation, and someone new who I never spoke to before. And what came out of the conversation for me was a lot of new insights, I felt really stimulated by the conversation. And I chose to be in conversation with that person. I chose to put my mind in that place intentionally, because I thought that would be a good place for my mind to go into. And as a result, my mind came out more creative, stronger, and ready to do my bidding, which was in this case, some of the work that I needed to do was like a creative mind work. And I was able to do it because my mind was where it needed to be in order for me to do my work. That is the difference between having my mind rule me and become a weapon against me, even though it's really trying to protect me. It's not the enemy, but it's trying to protect me. And me coming out on top and using my mind as an employee to do my bidding and do what I want and go where I want to go. And I think this idea is super, super important, because we so oftentimes feel an emotion. We don't know where the feeling it necessarily came from, and we don't know how to get out of it. Or we allow our minds to escape in whatever way we choose to let them escape. And there's a myriad of ways that we can let our minds escape. But if we put our minds in their rightful place and understand that we are not our minds, that we are higher, and that that our minds can work for us, if we do that, then we are going to be able to actualize every single part of us, and we can actually set an intention for where we want to go, and then follow suit and have our mind, body, and heart and soul all follow aligned. So I'd love to hear your thoughts about this, and hi to everybody who's watching. And yeah, I would love to hear what your experience has been with your mind, if you relate to anything that I said, and please share with me like your trick or tool in making your mind the employee and not the boss. All right, have a good week, everybody. Bye.